In today's session, we are going to learn about repository, means how we can save the notebooks to repository. So how we can have the version control in the Databricks. I hope my screen is visible. I'm not sure. Yes, it looks like. Okay. Okay, so we'll understand how we can have notebooks having on the Git repository, how we can save the notebooks on the Git repository, so our other members can use that or maybe update the repositories or the notebooks which we are using in Databricks. Okay, so if we go to the workspace here, a little bit make it big, so we can see here repository or legacy one, and the same thing I think you will find here in workspace as well, repos. So these both are basically the same thing. It will be removed from here and placed here. That's it. Nothing much changed. So in this repo, basically in the workspace, we are going to keep all our notebooks. So notebooks we can keep in repos. Let's say it may be the GitHub or it may be GitLab or Bitbucket or any version control system. We can put our repos or our notebooks into it, and our colleagues can update. They can fetch from there in their workspace, and they can work with these repos or notebooks, and we can collaborate with each other. So we can maintain different versions of the notebook, and we can work together as if it is like for example, we work with the code or the coder, especially they use the GitHub, etc. So same way we can also use it. So now let's see how we can set it up. So there is a lot of documentation, but we'll just navigate through quickly. So set up Databricks Git folder. Here we will configure the user settings. Let's see. So basically we use the personal access token. This token can be generated from our, Git provider. So let's say if it is GitHub or GitLab or anything, we can produce a personal access token, and then Databricks can use this. So assume this one as a key to access our GitHub account. So we can use the personal access token from Databricks, and once it is generated, it is added into Databricks account. uh, Databricks will be able to access the GitHub account. One more way is like you can go to the username password approach as well. So that is also possible. So most recommended or recommended way is to use the personal access token. It's more secure. You do not require each time going with the password. Maybe you can change the password, but your token will remain available or accessible to the Databricks. Either you change your password, it will not impact. So that's more a recommended way. And how we will configure or uh, access or the configure with the GitHub. So here these are the steps. We'll go to the account name. Top right screen means in the Databricks basically, and then we'll go to settings. There we'll find the linked account tab, and there we are going to configure it, or we can change it. So we can provide either Git username and password. So let's say if we want to integrate with the username, password, or email, that also possible. Or if we want to use it with the personal access token, that is also possible. So here we'll just provide the name or email, and here we'll provide the uh, personal access token. All right, so it's very simple way. It's not a very complicated one. It's easy to configure. So I'll simply take you there. Let's see if anything important for us. Yeah, these are some of the security feature in Git folders we can configure. So like encrypt Git credential, allowed list, access control, audit logging. So these are some of the feature we can, have on this one. Even we can restrict the usage to URLs in allowed list. So let's say if we just want to configure with the uh, Azure DevOps, we can do this, or maybe if we wish to configure with the visualstudio.com, so we can, provide this. So this will be basically the setting we have to change from here. So like this is the allowed list here, permissions we can configure from here, and allowed repo export also we can, output also we can configure from here. So these are some of the configuration related information, and we'll simply jump to the, I think, to the article, or to the Databricks itself, so we can configure. It's easy process relatively. So before that, I will go to my GitHub, basically github.com. And on the github.com, so this is my GitHub account, which is, having this one. If I go to settings here, if I go to developer settings, here I would see personal access tokens. So I can produce a personal access token from here. Basically, I can connect with or I can give any other software the access to my GitHub account. Okay, so I'll go with the token classic way. If you want granular control on the repository, then this is in the, like beta version. So you can also do this. Means if you want to give access to some of the repos and some you do not, then you can use this one. So we'll go with the classic one. Here we can generate a new token, basically. So simply we have to click on the generate new token and generate new token with the classic one. And then it is going to ask you the authentication of your account. So most of the, GitHub accounts are configured with the multi-factor authentication. So in my case also, it is having authentication application. So I am opening the authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator on my mobile device and going to GitHub, and it will send a code. So I'm just putting that one, 593. Yes, code is verified. So now I can, create a personal access token, PAT, and I can, give some of the permissions. For example, repos related, workflow related, admin related. So these are the permissions which are basically the GitHub permissions. So we can provide these permissions. I think with us, we just need the repo related permission. These are more than enough. We can fully access, private repositories and work with them. So if we tick this, these all are selected. Here the expiration, you can choose that how many days you want this token be available. So after these number of days, this token will be revoked, means you will have to reconfigure it for your Databricks. So we can keep any number of days here anyways. And this many days, this will remain connected with the Databricks. So I can say, let's say Databricks connection or whatever name I want to give to this personal access token, or Databricks PAT also I can say. PAT, better. And yeah, so finally we'll say generate token. So we are creating a token inside of our GitHub account. And this token will remain visible for now only. Means once I close this window, it will not be visible. So I should copy it. Now what I will do is I'll go to my Databricks basically. I'll go to repos and let me see if I'm doing right. This one. Yeah, I think I will have to look into documentation. Yes, there was something to change, I think. And you will also get an email which I got from the GitHub. So yeah, I think we should go to development in our settings and see this one here as well. Repo control access, so repo optional settings. I don't want to go to the optional part. Looks like the same documentation. Yeah, this is basically the document which will provide you GitLab. So you can connect with any of these here in this documentation. This is mentioned clearly. So let's go back to Azure Databricks. Here you have different like GitHub is there, Enterprise Edition also there, and link your GitHub account with the Databricks. In Azure Databricks, link your GitHub account on the user settings. So this is where we will have to go. In upper right corner, any page, right click your username and then setting, then linked account. Okay, and then you can link your account with the username password. So you will select the provider and then the username password, or you can choose the personal access token and then simply you have to link. So not much complicated, it's easier. Then it will be connected with your GitHub. Okay. Okay, so application, we are not looking to install any application because it's better to work with the remote one. So when we go to, basically this is our account, go to settings and linked account, I think, yeah. Yes, looks like here. So linked accounts will have to go, and then here we can do the Git integration. Okay, and the Git integration, so I'll make it little bit, yeah. So I'll choose which provider I want to link with. So I have these many options. These are like version control systems. So I'll choose here GitHub, and you will see that it has two options. Either I can go with the username and password. If I go like this, it will ask me to authorize with my logged in account. So it knows that I logged in with my GitHub, and this is my account information. This is already fetching the username, and then I can authorize the Databricks to use with this username and password. But much better way in the production environment is that we should not authorize it with the username, because username are bound to change, and your access may be revoked or something. But if you have personal access token, it will not be impacted by the username or permission related username. So I'll quickly cancel it. Let's go back. I think I can close it from here. Not authorized. Okay, and I'll choose the personal access token because we have already created the personal access token. We already copied it from our here. So we copied this one already. We'll go to our Databricks and we'll put into the token this string. So this is our token, and username or email we can provide. So my username is Kamal Purbia 77. So I can, link my GitHub account with my Databricks by just providing this information, and it will remain connected for 30 days. So if I save it, okay, so this is now connected. Okay, credential update. So let's go to our workspace now. I think this is what the only setting we require. And then we can go to our workspace, repos, and we can create our repository. So let's say if we create our repository, you can now create Git folder outside the repo folder. And so this is like message earlier. They used to have the legacy one, and now they have a little bit better one. So this is what the information is providing. Here we can create a folder, for example, let's say folder one or Git folder one, for example, Git. So it's going to be a container only. Inside, we will be able to create a Git repo. Okay, so under repos, we can see we have one folder created. And if we click on this, we have, Git folder and repos. In the repo home folder, so you can, create your repo here. So we can simply clone it from our existing repo, which we are already connected with. So at once we can connect with multiple repos. So we are connected with GitHub, and we are going to provide the URL of our repository. So right now we do not have any repository related to this. So what we'll do is we'll simply go to home and create a new repository in GitHub. Okay, so let me go here, click on new, and I'll create a new repository, which is going to be a private repository and going to have name, let's say Databricks repo -1, something like this. We'll just put a name, and we are going to put a README file because we have nothing on this repo. So we'll just put a README file and create this repository. Okay, so our repository is created with the branch name main. Okay, so one branch is there, and we have now the code button here. So from here, we can take this repository link. So we can clone this basically. So this is the link of my repository, which is privately available. So we are authenticated in Databricks using the personal access token. So it should allow us to access this repository. This will not be publicly accessed because this is not available on, over the internet without the access token. Okay. So now this is the URL here. What we'll do is we'll go here and we are going to add a repo. So in here, Git repository URL, we are going to put this URL. Okay, provider is this one, and repo name already it picked from here. Okay, so repo name is going to be the same. We'll simply create this repository. Okay, so as you see that we are inside the repo now. So workspace, repos, Git folder 1, and inside the Git folder 1 is the repo 1. Okay, so this is having a README file, and this is like created or something. So what I can do is I can, create a notebook and put inside the repo. I can simply go here, create a notebook. And I can say this is like control F. So I will say git repo -1 notebook dash one, something like this. So just to identify this notebook, that this notebook belongs to this and in the main branch. So I'll say, okay, this is going to be my cell one, for example. Just the dummy code, I'm just putting some cells here. Cell 2 or code and cell 3. Show hash is used to comment it out, just 3. Okay. So I just created some cells here and this is my notebook here. Okay, so this is inside. So if once I go to my repo here and if I refresh this one, okay, so this is not still, being fetched here. So let's go back and we can see our cell here or repo. So if I go to workspace, repo folder, and this is my repository. So when I open this, I should be able to, let me open this. So this is my, all this information kept here. Let me see, there was an option to basically save on the GitHub. This is what I am looking for. So I can click on main basically. Yeah. So it's little bit, change here. So when I go to the branch, this is, I am on the main branch. So if I do have multiple branch, I need to click on the branch and I can see that the git repo one notebook, dash one py is added. So this is Python file basically. So py is added here and this file is still not reflecting on the GitHub, right? GitHub only we have readme file. So if I'm on my repo one, which is the private, this log denotes the private one. So I can see only I do have readme file, but not the other one. Once I go to my Databricks account, I can see that the changes are there, but still these are not, pushed. So these are not basically committed. So you can see here, these changes are added, but not committed to GitHub. Okay. So we need to commit this change to GitHub and this is already selected for us. So I'll say, okay, in commit message, I will say added uh, not book one. Okay. And I will commit and push. So commit and push will basically commit this file and then push it to the GitHub. Okay, so this is pushed to GitHub now, successfully committed and pushed these changes. So if I go to GitHub now, and if I refresh this page, now I can see that I have two files here. So the commit message which I put here, like edit notebook one, and it was done now. So it is added here. So let's say my another data engineer or developer is having access to this notebook or this Git repo, then maybe he or she can open that notebook in Databricks environment, connecting with the using the personal access token. So the person or developer can work with this notebook. So let's say if the person is opening this notebook, you can see that we have written cell 1, cell 2, cell 3. So when the person is opening this notebook in the Databricks environment, it will look the same way. But since I have opened this in the GitHub one, so it is little bit looking raw format. Okay, so what I can do is, so let's say if I am editing this and The same method, if I do, let's say, for example, if I put some changes here, so cell 1, this is cell 1, for example, I'm writing just comment just to explain that how it will, work back and forth. This is cell 2, and this is going to be, this is like, this is cell 3. Okay, so I'm just putting some comment just to, make it more uh, the similar to the notebook update using the Databricks. And let's put it here, and maybe we can add one more cell just to try or reflect that if developer is working and making some changes. So let's say cell 4. Okay, so developer made some changes on whatever platform the developer is using and committing the changes. So once you commit the change, you just have to pass some message. So commit the changes. So these updates should be reflecting there now. So let's just refresh it in case. And now we can see we have notebook 1 and it should be updated. Still not updated. The reason is that we didn't fetch these updates to our Databricks environment. So what we can do is we can click on the main branch, and you would see here nothing basically. So you will see here only one written, means there is change or commit on the GitHub side, and that change is ready to pull because this is committed already. So this should be we should be able to pull this change from there. So that's why it is showing 1. So once we pull, proceed with pulling, yes, do it, confirm. So once I close this, I am able to see the changes in the notebook because this is now the updated in our environment as well. Second thing is like you can have multiple branches here. So let's say this is the one branch we do have. We may have multiple branch, and the same way it will work. So multiple branches we can create and we can add it here. So this is what I think from here also we can, yeah. So we have main branch here, and we can create the branch from here. So let's say if we create another branch, let's say branch 1. Okay, so we have branch 1 here. Now if I close, I can see in my notebook, I do have branch 1. I do have, I think I should be able to switch the branch from here. Yeah. So I have main branch and I have branch 1. Basically, I can switch from here. Okay. So branches basically will help you to maintain, let's say if you are working on a solution and you have so many, notebooks, and let's say, so the main branch basically represent that you have, core branch, which is like production branch, you can say. And your branches, or maybe you can create a branch for developers. So let's say if you have 2 or 3 developers working together, they can have their own branch. They can do the experimentations on their own branch, and if they find that that is ready to merge with the main branch, they can do this merging. And they can update the main branch after testing their feature branch. So whatever branch, let's say branch 1, branch 2 is there, they can work with these branches and update this accordingly. Okay, so This is about little bit about branching. You can keep creating the branch for multiple people, and you can, work with this branch. So if you see in the branch one, we have whatever update we were, working with available in the branch one as well. So branch is like up to whatever point we were having on the main branch. So in the main branch, we were having updates up to this point. And if I add another code cell, for example, and it's going to be cell for branch one, for example, this cell is added on branch one. So this should be available with the branch one, and it should not be impacting the branch or main branch. Okay, so that's what the idea here. So this cell is added here. When I change the branch, basically, yeah. And another thing, this, branch is not yet committed. So when it show here, it means that this is modified, but this is not committed yet. So I can say, okay, commit changes to branch one, and I can commit and push. So this branch will be available on my GitHub as well. So if I go to my GitHub here, you let me refresh it because it will not reflect otherwise. So I can see now that I have branch one available. So when I shift to branch one, I can see that cell for branch one is added here. When I shift to main branch, I can see that up to cell 4 only I do have this. So these different versions are being maintained here. Basically, we are maintaining different versions. So let's say if on branch 1 we have developer working, so developer can keep changing, his or her file, and still it will not be impacting our main branch. So once everything looks good on the branch 1, we can merge this code into main branch. So that's what the branching concept here on GitHub or any basically version control system. All right. So yeah, now this is how the branching and all those things will work. This is how the integration will work here, and we can, maintain our notebook. We can run the notebook. So concept is same, only that this code is going to be residing on the, GitHub, so everyone can collaborate. So let's say if these, notebooks are in our personal, means the home workspace, it is accessible by us only, not others. So we can keep working with our notebooks in our relative branch, and then once everything is okay, we can merge this code to the main branch using the GitHub. So like this, we can maintain, version control on our, our notebooks. Maybe we can refine our notebook. Maybe, if we are working with the long pipelines and all those things, we can maintain our code like this. So this is about, this part. And the same way it will work with the, other uh, repo solutions, or, the version control systems. So you can simply link the account from here, and it will work with the whatever you link with. Okay. There are other ways also, like Bitbucket, Azure DevOps also you can integrate with. So the concept is same, that you can have, personal access token, and you can connect with the, personal access token, and you can keep your, connection active. So once all these things are done, let's say you don't want to continue with this connection, you can simply delete this connection, and it will be disconnected from your account. Okay. So this is how we will maintain this. All right, so I'll simply, maybe I'll remove this. I don't need this here. So let's say if I go here and I move it to trash, I can simply remove this from here. I can go to here and settings, linked accounts, and I can delete this connection. So now this is disconnected and again available to be connected with any other repo we want to. Okay, like this, we can work with this. Okay, next topic is Databricks file system. So this was about repo and Git repo, or in workspace how we can work with the repos. Okay, so this is repo. This is how it's the same way like we are keeping the notebooks here, but only repo will help you with the collaborating with the other another users. Okay, so this is how you can connect with this. All right, let me see another topic, which is the Databricks file system. Meanwhile, if you have any question, I'll take, no problem, with the Git and GitHub related. Okay, so what is Databricks file system? I'll see about this briefly. So Databricks, basically, I can show you what we have right now here. So if we go to catalog here, so all or file access, etc., are being maintained here. So everything like catalog, schema, everything is being maintained here. But there is another file system available, or the main or the legacy file system of Databricks is also available. These are like newer one, which you require SQL warehouse, and this works with that. So like Hive Metastore or samples, and this catalogs are available on this new system. But we have one more system which is called Databricks file system. So let's understand about this, and then we'll include. So yeah. So basically, we have two folders here, or two type of accessibility available in this platform. So it is divided into two part. Databricks file system. So DBFS for short, it is called DBFS root and DBFS mounts. Okay. So what is Databricks file system? The term Databricks file system comes from Databricks file system, and which describe the distributed file system used by Azure Databricks to interact with the cloud-based storage. So this file system basically used to interact with the cloud-based storage. We can have any cloud-based storage account, and we can bring that account and work with the file system. The underlying technology associated with Databricks file system is still part of Azure Databricks platform. For example, DBFS colon this one. So this is like symbol to access this one is optional scheme when interacting with Unity catalog volume. Okay. Past and current warning caveats are about only apply to DBS root and mounts. So this is little bit, I mean, legacy system, but still is being used heavily. So this is like some of the warning and caveats are there. How does DBFS work with the Unity catalog? So Databricks recommend using Unity catalog to manage access to all data. Unity catalog aid the concept of external location, storage credential, and volumes to help organize, provide least privilege access. So basically, the DBFS also work with the, Unity catalog. Unity catalog is nothing but a governing system for access management. Okay. Uh, what is DBFS root? We'll understand about this. DBFS root is a storage location provisioned during workspace creation in the cloud account. So this is like root location for DBFS, and it's going to be created when we are creating the account. Okay. So we can enable and disable. How we can do this, we will simply look into it. Right, so there is nothing much. And the second thing, so this is the DBFS rule, first concept. The second concept is the mounting object storage. So if we are having any storage account, we can mount it along with the DBFS as well. Okay. But the DBFS mount is deprecated now, and we can use the Unity catalog volumes. So we have seen about the volumes, if you have seen it here. So now new way to maintain volumes or mounting is that we can use the volumes here and put the physical files in the volume. Okay, so like we have put some physical files earlier in the volumes. So this is new recommended way, but there is mounting also being used. So in DBFS we can mount the volumes. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so we can compare this. So this is not much to understand here. That's it about this article. Let me see if anything missing. Okay, so let's enable this first and see how it works. To have a DBFS enabled, right now if we go to our account, we don't see anything related to DBFS in our catalog. So we will have to enable this so we can see our DBFS. So for that, what we can do is you have to go to your user profile and go to settings. Under settings, you will see workspace admin category. So here on this section, we will have to go. Under that, we'll go to advanced. And here we should be having, where it was. This is about pet, access control. Okay, storage, purge, enable. Yes, this we can enable from here. Databricks file system or DBFS file browser, enable or disable DBFS file browser. Then only we should be able to view this. So before I, what I will do is I will open the catalog in new tab. Okay, so this is our catalog here. If you see, we have delta sharing, we have external data, and we have aid data. So these three buttons are there. And I am on, advanced tab in user settings. And if I enable, what will happen? So see here, once I enable DBFS file browser enable, you must refresh the page for change to take effect. Okay. So once I go back here and I refresh the page, you see three button. I should be having fourth button. I am waiting for fourth button, but it's not coming. Let's see what has happened. Is it save button there? I'm not sure. Okay, let me go here from here, let's say. Yes. So after few refresh, it is, displaying here, browse DPFS. So by doing, by just going there and, updating this one, now we can see that we are able to, enable this one. So Databricks file system browser is basically enabled. And if we click on that, we should be able to see some of the files or whatever we have stored in here. So this was not enabled earlier, so we were not able to see this Databricks file system. After having it enabled, now we are able to see the folder structure like file store. In the file store we have, like, for example, folder 1 created, and under the folder 1 we have one file. So same like we are keeping the files in volume, we can keep the files in Databricks file system as well. Okay, so same method, but this is like different just for Databricks file system, and we can use some file utilities to work with this. Okay, so what we can do with this file system, let's see. So let me just open some of the notebook. Maybe I can show you with the notebook. So let's go to workspace, and we'll simply create a new notebook, let's say. And I'll provide this that we are going to work with the file system or dbfs notebook s2 or something. Okay, so I think we will have to start the cluster now. So at least we can work with this file system. Okay, I think I'll have to go to another tab, open the compute and start my compute. It may take a while. It may take maybe 2 or 3 minutes to start the compute. And then we'll connect with this cluster here. So once it is started, we will be able to connect with this. So we have something called DB utils. And in DB utils, I think we should be able to fetch the help. Let's see. But it will be running after it start, looks like, yeah. So Databricks is having a utility called DB utils, and it's having so many commands in it. So we can, meanwhile it is starting, maybe we can go through this. So list available utilities, what we can do is dbutils.help, and it will show us what utilities are available with this command. Okay, and we can use with the Python, we can use with the Scala, we can use, yeah, these two only we can use. So list available command for a utility. So let's say we have one command which is called fs, or it stands for file system, and we can go for the help and look into what are the commands available with this. This is how, so there is some commands available, so we can pass the command name. So under fs, we have a command called cp, which is used for copying the data. So we can go to the help and see this one. So we'll just try this out. And then we have, data related, dbutils.data, and related, information. We can go to dbutils.data.help and see what helps are available. Again, in data, we have summarize one. So we can see the help related to summarize one as well. So like there are so many commands available into it, and we can maybe use this command and, use in the notebooks. So this is what we are trying to do here. Let's see what has happened with our cluster. Still not woke up. So once this cluster is running, our command will trigger immediately. Meanwhile, let's explore some more commands. These are DB utils file system related commands. So these are like commands in it. So cp is one command, head is another command, ls, make directory, mount, mounts, mv, put, refresh mount, remove, unmount. So these are the commands related to fs. So if we go for db utils and then .fs, these are the commands available into it. Okay, so these are the list of commands which are available. So copy basically will do the copy. I think maybe I'm not sure if I can open this in new tab, information separately available, or maybe it will refer to the same document basically. Yeah, it looks like the same document. Yeah, it is the same document here. But it's like that, it's referring to that section where, we are getting FS related commands. It is little bit more detailed. Okay. So like CP command or fs dot cp command, basically dbutils dot fs, then copy command basis. This will copy a file or directory, possibly across the file system. And to display the help, we can go for this and see the help related to this command. So in this example, it is showed that we have data.csv. We want it copied from volume, main default volume to a new data CSV, this location change. So it will just act as a copy command, and we can just simply type this command here, cp, provide the source volume address and destination volume address, and it will copy this file, and it will throw out the true. So when it is done, it will true. If it fails to copy, then it will return the false. Okay, let's see if our waiting period is over. Yeah, looks like our waiting period is over. Cluster running. So here you can see that by dbutils help or dbutils dot help and bracket. So you can see these commands are available. This module provides the various utilities for user to interact with the rest of Databricks, and these are like utilities which are available, or like dot data is there, fs is there, jobs is there, library is there, meta is there, a notebook related command, preview, secrets, widgets. So most commonly used is fs basically, which is the file system related command, which we will be practicing on, we'll looking into. So if I go and I type, let's say in new cell, if I type dbutils dot, I'll say fs dot help and then bracket. So now I'm asking for the help, because from dbutils.help I was able to see that these commands are available. In that one command which we have available is fs. So under fs, I just want the help and see what else available in the this command. So I'll be able to see that I have dbutils.fs, and it provides like a utility for working with the file systems. And I can, access the file system like this. These are some of the examples. Then I can use this command for mounting the, storage. We'll look into it practically, so don't worry. And then we have fs util, which is like copy one, head is there, ls is there, mv is there, put is there, and rm is there. So these are like file system related utilities available in fs. So if I want to understand about cp, for example, so I can just use this one, this command, dbutils fs. So I'll go for new one, dbutils dot fs dot cp and dot help. I think it should work, or maybe dot help, and it will work like this, cp. Let's try if it works. Yeah, it should work. So it will give you the information about this command, that what you can do with this. Basically, you can, copy the files from one to another. So here, the example you can see, you type cp, and then whatever address of your, source folder or file, you can copy it to destination folder or file. Okay. So this is how you can use this command. Now we have another command, which is the ls command. Let me just make it small if I can. I can collapse this all, and now I can try is db utils dot ls dot help. Fs will come, right? It's under the file system basically. Yes, it suggested me automatically, so that's great feature. Okay, under the file system, we want to understand about ls command, right? So ls should be here, this list or directory command. So if I go and type ls here, it should give me the information related to ls command. Okay, now here you can see that we have, so basically this command is like, Unix command, which, help us to list the directory of content of a directory. So let's say, yeah, if I say display and then ls, display is basically the command to display it nicely. So ls and give the path of the folder. So it will give me the result of ls command. So let's say, for example, if I want to see db utils, then if I say fs ls, and if I give the path which is like slash, yeah, so I should be able to see the folders or files which are available in, root folder. So if I wrap it around display, yeah, so it will show me in tabular format. So these are like path dbfs. So I am having a path which is called file store inside any, so this is like my root folder. So if I go to my catalog, go to dbfs. So if I go back here, this is the file store. Okay. Inside the file store, I have folder one. So inside the folder one, I should have something. Yeah, one file is there. Okay, so how the path is being, mentioned here, the dbfs and the file store. So I can simply go for file store here and see what inside of it. Okay, so on root folder, this is showing me like this. And I think if I take this one, copy this, and if I put it here, it should be reaching me out in the file store one. So let's see. So I can see I have folder and tables inside my file store. Okay. So this is how I can access from, this file store. All right. So this is about the, DBFS. And yeah, that's it for today.